What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another post game here on Mets Central. As the New York Mets beat the Colorado Rockies 8-2 in Game 58 of the regular season. Before we jump into everything and talk about it, please be sure to leave a like on your way into the post game show. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel, especially if you're Met fans, and turn on your notifications so you know when we upload or go live here on Mets Central. And I do ask, of course, the same thing if you're watching on replay. I would appreciate any of that. But yeah, nice to see the Mets put up more than 6 runs for once, because it has been since May 9th since the Mets have scored more than 6 runs in a baseball game, which is a pretty long time for an offense that's making as much money as they are. And considering the fact that they did play teams like the White Sox, teams like the Pirates, teams like the Rockies, it's nice to see that they're actually capable of doing it. Rather, there are things that I like about Brandon Nimmo in the 2-hole, which please do not change Brandon Nimmo's spot in the lineup, even if there is a lefty on the mound, because I am so tired of seeing a different lineup all the time. Two, seeing them switch things up that is working. And one of the things that is working is Brandon Nimmo hitting second, because I thought he had a good series against the White Sox, and he picks it up here in the Rocky series by hitting second. So hopefully that's something at the very least that will continue. A weird game to talk about here, right? Because the offense was great in the first inning, great in the third inning. Then you saw more of the same with the double plays, and you saw more of the same with the lack of producing with runners in scoring position when they got them. Weird in that regard. They definitely got help at points as well from the Rockies playing terrible defense, and they got some help as well, just from, in general, the Rockies pitchers giving free passes to guys. I mean, they had 4 walks in this game, which definitely helped out. But at the end of the day, I will take the fact that I watched Brandon Nimmo and Juan Soto go back to back, because they needed that. Brett Baty, once again, coming through with a big hit. He needs to stay in the lineup. And honestly, I would not touch this top 5 for a bit of time right now. I think this is the perfect top 5 for this lineup going forward, with Lindor, Nimmo, Soto, Alonso, and Baty. The only thing that I would accept differently is if they, with a lefty on the mound, I would accept if they wanted to go the route of putting like Vientos DHing and batting fifth, and then Baty sixth. That's the only thing. But I would rather just stick with this top 5 and see what they could do and give them a little bit of run. And honestly, I would stick with this lineup entirely. The only thing that I would really change is I would get Torrens in there, which we're going to talk more about Alvarez throughout this post-game show. And then for the DH situation, I would get Vientos in there. Jared Young, I mean, maybe you keep him in there, but I'm not a big Jared Young fan based on what I've seen early on, to be honest with you. But if they do want to give playing time to him, you split the time there between Young and Vientos, and then let that be the lineup for now. And Brett Baty needs to be playing third base as well. That's the other thing that I want to note for that one. But yeah, let's talk about this game. So in the first inning, Tovar ended up getting a home run on the ghost fork, but Kodai Senga, credit to him for getting 3 strikeouts in the first inning, looking disgusting and adjusting on the fly, because he got beat with the forkball. And then Hunter Goodman comes up and he ends up putting him away with the 4-seam fastball to switch things up there. The bottom of the first inning, the Mets load up the bases as Lindor and Nimmo get back-to-back singles. Soto then would walk. Pete Alonso strikes out. Brett Baty with a huge base-clearing triple to make it a 3-1 game. Young lines out. Taylor singles to make it 4-1. He steals a bag. McNeil grounds out to end the inning. Senga settled in so nicely, though, after this, because he ends up getting 2 strikeouts in the second inning. The Mets had a walk from Lindor in the bottom of the second. Don't score. Top of the third, 1-2-3 inning yet again for Senga. In the bottom of the third inning, Alonso had a single. Baty gets on from a fielder's choice. And then again, like, this is what I'm talking about. You have a double play here from Jared Young. And then Taylor grounds out because Baty was able to get help from the error there over at second base. The top of the fourth inning, another 1-2-3 inning for Kodai Senga. The bottom of the fourth inning, McNeil gets on with an error. Francisco Alvarez hits into a ground out first pitch swinging, which we'll talk more about Alvarez after, but I'm sorry, he cannot play as the everyday catcher, and I want to see Torrens in there more than Alvarez. I really do because it just I'm not seeing it right now at all. I'm really not. Lindor, though, gets a single. Nimmo hits a home run, though, to make it 6-1. Juan Soto then pulls one to the opposite field, a little bit towards center, but pulls it mostly to the opposite field to make it a 7-1 game on back-to-back pitches there. Alonso pops out. We go to the top of the fifth inning. Another 1-2-3 inning for Senga. Bottom of the fifth inning, Beatty flies out. Young with a single. A wild pitch would advance him. Taylor walks. McNeil hits it to a force out, steals a bag, but Alvarez strikes out once again. Not a great at bat there from Alvarez. We go to the top of the sixth where Kyle Farmer hits a fly ball and Tyrone Taylor going out there and just making a beautiful grab out there in center field. And another 1-2-3 inning there for Kodai Senga. In the bottom of the sixth inning, Lindor walks. Nimmo strikes out. Soto hits it to a double play. The top of the seventh inning, Senga stays in the game, which good because of the pitch count. Walks Tovar. Goodman lines out. McMahon walks. Estrada hits a single to make it 7-2. I agree with the decision to pull Senga there. It just sucks that they couldn't get 7 out of him. It would have been so nice to get 7 from a starter, but it's not the end all be all because Budo comes in. He allowed a walk to load the bases, but ends up getting out of it with a strikeout. He looked a bit better, though, than we've seen as of lately, in my opinion, even though he did allow a walk as well to Jordan Beck in the eighth inning. I thought Budo did a little bit better of a job with locating his pitches versus what we have seen from him as of lately. Bottom of the eighth inning, McNeil ends up hitting a home run to make it a 8-2 game. And then the ninth, Davinsky comes into the game. So just might as well because you might as well get use out of him until Blackburn comes back from the IL, which will be in that Dodgers series. Well, we'll get into that on the podcast. But yeah, outside of a double, gets through the inning. And the Mets end up winning this game by a score of 8-2. So, like I said, from the offensive standpoint, very weird game because you look at the first inning, they showed signs. You look at the third inning, they showed signs. But then the rest of it, it's kind of like they didn't get much going. And that's where I don't know how to feel because I'm very happy and pleased to see them score as many runs as they did. I'm very happy and pleased to see Lindor get on base as much as he did. He got on 4 times, 2 for 3 with 2 walks on the day. Brandon Nimmo going 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Juan Soto going 1 for 3 with a walk and getting an RBI as well. And then Brett Beatty getting the huge base clearing triple. Everyone got a hit. Everyone got involved with this offense, but I don't know. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining, and I don't want to complain for the sake of it because you should be scoring 8 runs off this team. You should be beating the Colorado Rockies. But just like, I don't know. I feel weird right now. I feel really weird about it just because, I mean, we've talked about it a lot where it's just they have the big inning or two and then they don't produce offensively. So that's where I'm having trouble assessing this game. But either way, the at the end of the day, I should say, it does not matter unless you build on it. So it was nice to see the offense have a day where they put up the runs. But again, it does not matter if it does not get built on and it doesn't translate to other games because we saw them put up a bunch of runs against the Washington Nationals back in April. And, we saw the offense follow that day up with 8 runs against the Diamondbacks, but then it went back to status quo for the most part. So, yeah, for the most part, again, just very tough to assess it. Francisco Alvarez, though, I mean, he needs to be riding the bench because the one hit that he got to was he almost ended up getting thrown out there at first base because he was slow out of the box. Not a good day, though, for him. I mean, I'm not seeing it right now, and I don't know anymore what you could even do or say with Alvarez. I really don't because there's just no signs of improvement right now, which is what's very concerning. There's no signs that he's going to get out of it. And he had a good first week or two off the IL, which is what's even more infuriating. And now it's just back to what it's been for him. I really don't know. As for the pitching front, Kodai Senga though, very happy with his start. 7 strikeouts, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, allowed that home run, and did not look back. Retired, I think it was 17 straight batters after the home run he allowed. Just really good stuff from him with the command, locating his four seam well, obviously generating the whiffs that he usually does on the forkball, generating a good amount of whiffs on the cutter. Very good start from Kodai Senga. Would have liked to see 7 innings from him, but I'm not going to nitpick here. At the end of the day, he gave more than what this team usually gets from their starting pitchers. And for that, I will count that as a little bit of a victory there. And then for Budo, like I said, a slight improvement, still walking batters, but a slight improvement in terms of uh how he looked. Sorry, give me a second to take a sip of water here. I'm like dying. All right, think I'm good. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, and then Davinsky, who you don't expect much from, comes in, gives you outs, gives you 3 outs. So let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. And with this win, by the way, the Mets move back into first place, which means they don't have to address issues. Everything's fine. And they're going to the World Series. That's what that means, being in first place. Right. So, all jokes aside, yeah, let's see what you guys are saying in the chat right now. Two Cats, what's going on? Glad to see them. The Bats come a little more alive today. Tied the division again and go for the sweep tomorrow. They gotta get the sweep. Gotta. And at least they did not lose this series, because the Rockies have now lost 22 consecutive series dating back to last season. That is brutal. If they lost the series, oh man, that would have been brutal. Much better offensive performance from the team today. Keep Nimmo in the 2 hole, Mendy. Absolutely. He looks the most comfortable we have seen him all season long. He's got to stay towards the top of the order, and you're seeing the OPS go up a bit too. And I love it. Over the last 7 games, he's got a 571 slug, 435 OBP, 381 average, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, a home run, 2 RBIs, 8 hits. Let him cook. Let him cook. Yeah, at least the top 4 has to stay consistent. I think Beatty's earned a right though to get leeway in that 5 hole, to be honest with you. But that's just me. I get if you want to debate that one though. I'm not going to sit here and argue it, but no one could argue me on the Nimmo thing. He has to stay there. And what do you know, by the way, right? Because we've been screaming for weeks now. Move the top 3 guys and spread the love a little bit. And I didn't like the plugging and playing. And granted, I'll put my hand up and say I thought Vientos was better for the 2 hole. Brandon Nimmo's fitting there too, and I don't hate them for trying it. And it's working now. So his first home run 3 weeks was much needed. I know we say this all the time, but hopefully this could be the this hopefully he can use this better offensive series as a springboard. Yeah, I mean that's really the thing with this entire series, where build confidence and build momentum towards getting the offense right. And yesterday, Nas great. Today, better. But again, none of it matters if they don't build off of this. Two Cats saying Lindor, Soto, or Lindor, Nimmo, Soto, Alonso, Beatty, Vientos, Taylor, McNeil, Torrens, ideal lineup. Yes, that would be my ideal lineup right now. The only thing that I could also get behind is if you wanted to flip Taylor and Torrens in that lineup. But that's what I would rock with right now. I think that's the best lineup for this team at this current moment. Yeah, I agree there. Brett Beatty's hooping right now. He is. Been waiting for him to hoop all year. Been waiting for him to hoop his entire career, and you're seeing it. And listen, again, I'll put my hand up. I wanted him completely cut after the first month of the season when he got sent back down. But I got to give credit, man. He's rebounded nicely, and hopefully he could stay on track. Yeah, hopefully the Knicks could grab a win tonight and force Game 7. Because I stand by it. I think if this goes 7, I think they take care of business at the Garden and complete the comeback. So tonight's like very stressful for me in that regard. Because I knew they'd win Game 5. It's just like Game 6 is where I don't feel comfortable going into Indy. But we're out here to talk hoops. I know. I know. Before people get mad. I would keep the top 4 the same, but I'd rotate Beatty and Vientos 5 and 6 based on starter. If it's a righty or lefty, Beatty has to be at third. Vientos has to be at DH. That's a fair point that I can't argue with. I would agree with that one. I would agree that I don't mind them switching it based on the matchup there. But like you said, I mean, no matter what, Vientos has to DH and Beatty has to be playing third base. I don't want to see Mark Vientos play at third base. I just don't. Nimmo was taken out of the game with calf cramps. Of course. Of course he was. Wonderful. Well, hopefully that doesn't hopefully that doesn't linger. I guess that's better. That's best case scenario considering what it could have been, but not what you want to hear. Not what you want to hear at all. Man, injuries, the injuries, the injuries. Yeah, this is really just this is accurate. Feel like there's always something weird going on with them, whether it's sleeping wrong, whether it's eating raw chicken. Like I don't know what it is. You got to stretch more. He's got to stretch more. Pause, but he's got to. All right, I'm gonna wrap things up here though. Thank you everyone for tuning in and watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new. Turn on your notifications so you know when we upload or go live here on Met Central next. And I'll see you guys in the next one.